problem we face as human beings then is how do we live in that space? What we do is we try to deny it, and that's what a symptom is. A symptom is, in a sense, what you refuse to speak, finding a way to speak. So, you're maybe kind of got the perfect life, everything's great, you're projecting out your idealized ego, all of that, but you have terrible migraines, right? You have a bad back, you find it difficult to sleep, you always have to listen to something at night in order to sleep, and whenever it switches off, you wake up sometimes because, now the repressed returns. These are symptoms. If you're denying something to yourself consciously, your body finds a way of expressing it. Symptoms are a protest against a form of life that doesn't work. And we often think that symptoms are things that we can just cut out of our body. I have outbursts of anger. I cry for no apparent reason. I have migraines, bad back. They can't figure out what exactly is wrong, right? And we think, okay, if only I take the right medication, if only I do the right, rituals or whatever, I can get rid of these symptoms. The symptom is seen as not really part of me. But in analysis, the idea is, no, the symptom is more you than anything else. The symptom is your truth. The truth that you cannot face is expressed in the symptom. And so the symptom kind of, in a sense, often is whenever you're in a church, for example, and you're reading Josh McDowell Evidence That Demands a Verdict, and you've got all of the answers and you've got it all right, and you feel this confidence, but you're not able to express your doubt, your unknowing, because what is doubt? Doubt is a lack of knowledge. Doubt is living in the center. You can't express that, so it will come out. Maybe it will come out in aggression to people who don't agree with you, that you find yourself unable to disagree with people, you find yourself hating people who disagree, or keeping yourself away from people. These are symptoms. Symptoms that are telling you not that you're confident, but that you lack confidence, but you're not able to express that. That's why my first book was about doubt, complexity, and ambiguity in the church. Because what the argument was not that we have to doubt. I was on this radio show where this guy was at, he had an apologetics show. He talked about apologetics 3 days a week. He'd written like 10 books on apologetics. And he was saying to me, are you telling me that we have to doubt? We have to ask questions about our faith? And I'm saying, I'm not telling you that at all. I'm telling you you're already full of doubt. Why else would you have a show 3 days a week on apologetics and have written 10 books on the subject if you weren't flooded with questioning that you're not able to express? I'm not your psychoanalyst, but that seems pathological to me. It's which is what's called reaction formation. Reaction formation is a defense where you put up the very opposite of what you are. So a community that is obsessed with apologetics, don't think that that's a community that has certainty. My goodness, no. Go to the Amish. They're pretty certain. They probably don't do any reading of apologetics, right? If you're reading a lot of apologetics, it's generally a symptom that you are actually very uncertain, but you're not able to express that. So the reaction formation is the opposite. Someone who's very confident, they're always talking about how great they are, how great their job is, how great this is, how terrific they are, whatever. Often, what lies behind that is a profound unconscious self-hatred. But that's called reaction formation. That's a symptom. Now, again, we think the symptoms are the thing like a cancer we can cut out of our bodies. So like alcoholism. Alcoholism is a problem, so you try and resolve it, fix it, stop drinking. But if you don't work out that actually alcoholism is the solution to a problem, it's not a problem. The symptom is not a problem. The symptom is the solution to a problem. And you have to work out what the symptom is a solution for. The symptom is allowing you to continue to live, but probably in a world and an environment that is painful, like a job that you despise. The symptom is a way that keeps you going. It's the solution, so you get really bad headaches, or you get really angry with your spouse. You come home and you're always shouting at them. That's called deferral, where your anger is really directed at your boss, but you can't shout at your boss because you'll get fired. So you take your anger and you throw it somewhere else, and you throw it at someone who's not deserving of it. That's a defense mechanism, and we all do that. We all have defense mechanisms. They're useful to know, and it's useful to come to know our own defenses. Denial is obviously a big defense, especially with alcoholism, where you say, I'm not an alcoholic. And you go like, well, denial's what everybody says. If you're not an alcoholic and someone asks you, are you an alcoholic? You're going to say, no, I'm not an alcoholic. Is that denial? And you go, oh, that's what an alcoholic would say. Well, I'm definitely not an alcoholic. Oh, well, that's definitely what an alcoholic would say. Right? But denial is slightly different. Denial is when you deny something you're not asked. So denial is when someone says, oh, we should probably get a few more drinks for this party. There's a lot of people coming. I'll go down to the off-license and get some. I'm not an alcoholic or anything. I never asked if you were. I mean, why are you telling me you're not an alcoholic? I never asked. Right? That's denial, because the person is probably not telling you they're not an alcoholic. They're telling themselves. So they're using you to tell themselves something. We have these different defense mechanisms. And if you solve alcoholism, as in you just get rid of the symptom, but you don't look at the problem that causes it, you're going to take up something worse, something much more horrific, something terrifying. Have you ever heard of CrossFit? Right? I've seen it. Honestly, I've seen this firsthand. One day you're drinking too much, the next day you're flipping tires. It's terrifying, right? You never get the Irish doing that. We used to stick with the alcohol. But you can take up another symptom. Maybe it's a useful, better symptom, but it's still potentially a symptom that is telling you something that you cannot bear to listen to. So part of what we need to do in our lives, part of what probably brought you here, is eventually we have to listen to our symptoms. And Lacan, who's a theorist that I like, he wrote Symptom in the old-fashioned way. There's symptom, which is this suffering. You suffer from your symptom. It's the problem that you want to get rid of. But if you change how you look at it, and you say, hold on, maybe my symptom is the solution to a problem. My headaches are telling me that I'm in a terrible relationship. My bad back is telling me that I need to get out of my job. My inability to sleep is telling me that I have unresolved issues from some friendships 5-10 years ago, right? Then it becomes a symptom, but spelt differently, Synthome, right? Which is the French way. This is an old French word, Symptom. And Symptom sounds exactly like Symptom, which is holy man. So Symptom, Symptom, holy man, right? So your symptom is a holy man. Your symptom is a prophet. If you listen to your symptom will lead you to truth. What happens if you don't listen to a prophet? You're screwed, right? But if you do listen to a prophet and you repent, which means change your ways, you kind of are brought into green and pleasant pastures. That's the idea of a prophet. Your symptom is a type of prophet. If you refuse to listen to it, then it'll probably end up in disaster. But if you can listen to your symptom, and it's very difficult to do, because we invest so much energy in not listening to ourselves. It's incredible. But if you listen to your symptom, it can tell you a problem in your life that you need to look at, you need to work through. And if you're able to do the work, the symptom diminishes and you can live better.